cold, rainy, mystical day here in Michigan. I am at my home that I grew up in. It's an exciting moment. How did I get here? Let's flash back. Oh, hi. It's nice to see you again. Let me get rid of some of this mess. There. Much better. So, on with the story. So this week was a big week. We had Valentine's Day, President's Day, and Chinese New Year. But for all those Asians out there, we know that this week was really all about the Chinese New Year. So I was chilling at home. I was looking through my social media, which I honestly should do less of. And I was experiencing something super classically Asian American. I call it the Chinese New Year Food Showdown. What is this exactly? Well, let's say a normal person loves food this much. An Asian person is this extra. We just love it that much more. So the Chinese New Year Food Showdown is taking the occasion of celebrating the coming of the Lunar New Year. It's the year of the dog this year. And using it as a way to show off how much better your dinner is than your friend's dinner. We had Stephanie, who was the first of my friends to make a post. Her dinner spread looked amazing. Peking duck, hello. Then we had Rhea from Taiwan, who honestly year-round just puts us to shame because she's in the motherland. We had Laura and Michael, who forgot to capture their food, but really had a really sweet Happy New Year's message for their grandparents. I was basically experiencing some major FOMO. So imagine that weekend. Maybe I would have ordered Domino's or gone to the grocery store to pick up something a little bit Asian. I decided to take action. I called my dad. Hi.
Hi, Margarito. What's up?
新年快乐！
新年快乐! Yeah, it's coming.
我要回家。
When?
This weekend.
This weekend? That's great. But let me look up the flight for you, okay?
Then snap, crackle, boom. I got in my Uber, lugged my luggage, got on that plane, and I was where I grew up. So going back to Michigan is a little bit of a time capsule. Walking through my childhood room is pretty hilarious, honestly. It's shelves and shelves of my participation trophies, including a medal from DARE that I'm very proud of, winning a DARE essay contest. Don't do drugs. And shelves and shelves of Bruce Lee paraphernalia. I really had a phase. Then you've got tons and tons of baby photos. So I was staring at one of these photos from middle school, my glory years, and I had a bit of a moment.
Once upon a time, there was a girl named Margaret Ding.
Okay, it's me. So, my parents, they're Asian, Taiwanese to be exact. They fell in love in Taiwan, and while they had successful careers as police officers, they decided to up and come to the United States to pursue higher education and the classic American dream. A few years later, I was born. A gloriously handsome, healthy, plump baby girl. Smack dab in the hubbub that is Farmington Hills, Michigan. And for me growing up, the ABCs didn't necessarily stand for apple, banana, or crocodile. For me, they stood for American-born Chinese. Needless to say, growing up in ABC in Michigan wasn't always the easiest. I remember the first day of middle school. I got on a school bus to go to school. I was at gym class, just a normal kid hugging the walls, avoiding physical contact at all costs, when a crowd of kids just swarmed me, and they were basically like, oh my God, your nose, it's so flat. Oh my God, it's so flat. They basically started touching my nose and crowding around and were really just wondering, in wonderment, about how flat my face was. It wasn't the best first day of school, but it wasn't like terribly traumatizing either. You just have to basically think, wow, these kids have literally never seen an Asian person before. And in my entire middle school of 1,500 kids, I could count on one hand the number of Asians. Honestly, one hand with a few fingers lost. It was Jin Hak Kim and Rina Nagashima, my best friend at the time. Hey girl, what's up? I don't know that this is really a Rudolph-style story per se, because I don't know that I fit in on the other side either. I would go back to Taiwan every couple years or so with my family, and there was basically one fundamental problem, which is I was always and am still freakishly tall. I'm 5'10", which for anyone who doesn't know, the average American height for a woman is 5'6", and the average American height for a man is 5'10". So I am the average American male. And going back to Taiwan, I was very, very tall. So I'd be walking down the streets and people would stare. Like, first, this is me. This is a person. They'd look. They'd be like, oh man, she's tall. They'd look away. They'd look back. They'd look at my feet, and they'd look at, like, is she wearing any heels? And they'd realize I wasn't, and then they'd be like, oh my God, and they'd just outright stare. So a little bit of tension on either side, whether that was Asian or American. And my response to that in my teenage years was the very classically Asian American thing, which is to play to the extremes and try things on for size on both sides. So, I'd explore my Asian side, AKA become totally obsessed with Bruce Lee, draw a lot of weird fangirl portraits of him, listen to a lot of Jay Chou, folks. Even my white American high school friends know Jay Chou because I would be listening to it all the time. And then on the other side, like blasting Eminem, Detroit baby, that's where I'm from. And overall, just not knowing how to portray my self-view to others, because it was a beautiful contradiction, I would call it. If someone would call me Asian, I'd be offended. How could they call me Asian? Are you calling me a fob, fresh off the boat? No, I take offense. I would be offended, or I wouldn't feel great if someone called me whitewashed either, because I'm like, I speak fluent Chinese and my Mandarin is better than 80% of Asian Americans that you see out there. And I know all about my culture, and I go back every couple years and I have family there and they know me, even if it is as the laughing American one. So I had this conflict inside, and I'm not sure I really thought about it or really figured out what to do with it. And that's when I went to college. Everybody has those inner conflicts, and then they go to college. And they try to work out whatever the heck they are amongst hundreds and thousands of people doing exactly the same thing. And figuring it out and messing it all up together. So I was reflecting on this week. And I was just thinking about all the friends that I have and who I'm really grateful for. I was thinking about all the really good friends that I made in college and who they were and what they taught me and how they expanded what I knew about the world. And I kind of realized that if I feel like I'm walking the fence between Asia and America and these cultures, a lot of my friends do the same thing for different fences between different worlds. I have friends who are bridging the world between India and America, Korea and America, Jordan in America. I have friends who are bridging the world between LGBT and all the rest of who we are. All my really good friends have a bit of that going on. And I just really suddenly found it's not anymore that I'm gonna get offended if people call me Asian, and I won't get offended if you call me white, because I am both those things, and I can be both those things. And I think that's actually the power of being someone between worlds, that you are able to build a larger understanding of what's around you because you have that built-in perspective, and then you make connections with people who might also increase your perspective to something else you don't even know, and fundamentally have an open mind towards things like that. And that becomes the superpower that you can apply to understand more of the world. Anyway, that's my basically opposition to all those angsty teenage blogs out there. I did not start one, did I? Maybe I did. Maybe I had a Zynga talking about it at one point, about the trials and tribulations of being an ABC. Today, I'm feeling really grateful and happy to be an ABC. Peace. Almost forgot, but didn't forget all my shout outs. Thank you to all my friends who have been bombarded by my text messages to go watch my videos. It is an improvement process, so please continue to give me thoughts. And thank you in particular to my friend Cameron. I really think his feedback, he nailed it. I mean, newfound respect and kudos and power to ya to all those 13, 14-year-old girls out there doing your video vlogs. Well done. I respect you. Such bravery. Keep on a chuckin'.